Hello beautiful people, and welcome to my channel where we discuss all things wellness, personal growth and spirituality. I'm Cecily, an Australian writer and content creator based in Paris since 2012. If you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe so that you don't miss any of my uploads. Today I wanted to talk firstly about my experience quitting the pill, and secondly about syncing my daily activities with my monthly cycle in order to optimize my workflow and general life experience. TMI warning, this video talks in detail about the menstrual cycle, so if you are not interested in this kind of content, please click off now.
Disclaimer, this is not medical advice.
I was on the pill for a total of 11 years. I started it because I wanted to have more control over my period and potentially skip it when it suited me. This was actually never possible for me. The one time I tried during a vacation, it didn't work. Thereafter, I never tried again, but I always appreciated being able to predict exactly when it was due, to have a short, light and relatively painless period, and the added security of additional birth control. So after 10 years, I asked my doctor if I should be concerned that my period was pretty much non-existent. She said no. 1 year later, in January 2020, after reading Dr. Brighton's book Beyond the Pill, I returned to tell her that I'm quitting the pill. She reassured me that I needn't worry about any adverse effects of the pill, but I chose to go ahead with my plan. I followed Dr. Brighton's advice regarding supplementation and diet, completing a 30-day detox to restore my gut health and balance out my hormones, in conjunction with a plethora of supplements that I took for several months thereafter. This was not a cheap experiment. Many women worry about how their skin will react to quitting the pill, which is totally understandable. Personally, I've been lucky to have had fairly clear skin my whole life, but I still had my concerns, and after following Dr. Brighton's protocol, I was able to maintain it for the most part. I have found now that I do get hormonal breakouts about a week before my period is due, usually on my chin or next to my nose, but it's just the odd spot that clears up with some salicylic acid within a few days. My periods, on the other hand, have become far more painful and heavy than when I was on the pill. The first 2 days consist of mind-numbing cramps, and I usually take the day off to rest. I've heard good things about using CBD oil for calming cramps, and will definitely be trying that out because raspberry leaf tea just is not cutting it. Ever since I quit the pill, I've been tracking my cycle using the Natural Cycles app. Thankfully, it's been regular, and the app is able to fairly accurately predict the start date of my period from month to month, but not too far in advance. Tracking my cycle has really opened up my eyes to how amazing the female body is. As our temperature fluctuates throughout the month in a wave, our hormones change and our body reacts. The way we feel, our energy levels, sensitivity, concentration and desires all change in accordance with our hormone levels. I first heard this concept being discussed by Alyssa Vitti on the Impact Theory Women of Impact podcast. She spoke about the 4 phases of your menstrual cycle and what you should focus on. She defined the 4 phases of your cycle as prepare, open up, work and rest. But the best way that I've heard of for remembering the phases of your cycle was the following. Here it is on screen, and I will explain it to you now. Think of your cycle as the seasons of the year. You have winter, spring, summer and autumn. Winter being your period when you're menstruating. We allow 4 days for this phase of your cycle. This is the time of the month where you are the most intuitive. You should spend time researching, evaluating and reflecting. Think about what's working or not working for you and what you need to shift or change in your life. The follicular phase of your cycle is springtime. This lasts for about 10 days. During this time, you are full of energy and ideas. This is the time to plan and initiate projects. The ovulation phase of your cycle is summertime. This time lasts about 5 days. During this time of the month, you are your most verbal, so it's a great time to film videos. You are also your most receptive, so it's really great time for networking, and you are most energetically attractive at this time of the month. The luteal phase is the autumn or fall phase of your cycle. This lasts for about 10 days. During this time, your brain is detail-oriented. It is the perfect time to finish projects, write, review, and edit, do any administrative work. It is also a time to be alone and be introspective. So now you have an idea of how a woman's strengths and energy shifts throughout her cycle every month. If we consider that the business world was created by men to cater for men who run on a 24-hour cycle, feeling more or less the same every day, whose testosterone and energy levels peak at 9 a.m. when the workday generally starts, it is not surprising that women feel like they have to adapt and sync to the rhythm of the masses in order to find their place in that world. But here is where the magic happens. When you realize that as women, we hold the power to take advantage of the ebb and flow of our cycles, rather than suppressing them with hormonal drugs such as the contraceptive pill. In fact, we can schedule our projects around our cycle and predict when we will feel most like networking or giving a presentation, when we should be quietly editing or evaluating projects, and when we should be planning for what is to come. Once we have this information on hand, we can play to our advantages throughout the course of the month and really benefit from the beautiful contrast that our cycle offers us. Obviously, when we're working in a team environment or in an office, it is harder to sync our projects around our cycle. But if you even have the option of choosing what date your presentation will be that month, try looking into scheduling it for when you're in your summer phase. I think that if you can implement even a few of these steps throughout the month, you might see a difference. I totally recognize that depending on your work and what kind of freedoms you have within your work environment, it will be more or less easy for certain people to implement this in regards to planning your projects around your cycle. But you could at least implement it into your private life, whether that means scheduling your social time during your spring-summer phase, most of your meetups with friends, and you might even notice that you're naturally doing this. You naturally feel more outgoing and sociable during your summer and spring phase, and you're naturally scheduling catch-ups with friends during that time. So over the course of the next month, I will be vlogging during the 4 different phases of my cycle to show in real time how we can implement this knowledge into our lives and really benefit from it. That's all for today's video. Thanks so much for watching until the end. I appreciate you. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love you to hit the like button. And if you'd like to follow this series, be sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified of future uploads. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!